So this is the core message canvas build out and training. You've already seen the core message on the customer avatar and the customer persona. If you've done that already, if you haven't done that yet, complete that, the customer avatar and persona, and then come back to this. But this is super important because this is the message that you want to get out to parents and students, your ideal demographic. So be thinking about your customer avatar persona when you're drafting your core message. This can go in your ads, it can go on your landing page, it can go on mailers, it can be anywhere where you have marketing. So your core message canvas is really important because it's one of the frameworks for everything else we're going to be doing. Before you create any ads, get the core message framework down. So this is the value journey worksheet that you should have already completed in the last module. You've done that already, and now you're here. The core message canvas. This is your messaging. And why we do this? Messaging is everything, and it's everywhere. Like I said, you can use this for your ads. You can use this for Google or Facebook. You can use it on the My Business page. You can use it on your landing page. It's really the central framework for who you are, what you do, and why parents should choose you over another school for their child. And this simplifies and clarifies the value proposition, what you're offering, why you're better. And it causes us to fall in love with your business all over again, to fall in love with your school all over again, which is good for you, it's good for your team, and it's good for the parents that you're targeting. So let's get to it. Step 1 is clarifying your avatar offer. This is it looks similar to the customer avatar persona sheet that you did, but it is different. So having that customer avatar persona, hopefully you have saved that worksheet or you've taken a picture of it if you put it up on a whiteboard. But take out that customer avatar persona worksheet and you're going to use that to help you complete this core message canvas. So you're going to write in that avatar person's name and description. And then you're going to write in your offer name. Product or service could just be, for the kindergarten class, or it could be for a first grade class, or if it could be, after school programs, whatever. So avatar, persona, dedicated dad, I've used that example a lot. And the product or service is an after school program. So write those at the very top. And then step 2, we've seen this before in the customer avatar, is documenting the before and after. So that's step 2. Before and after. So a great sales message simply articulates the shift or transformation from the before state to the after state. And you should already remember this from the avatar. But this is the customer avatar canvas. Your before and after sections are here. That should already be done. So just go ahead and copy those over to the core message canvas. Copy those befores and afters to the core message canvas worksheet. Step 3, after you've copied that over, you're going to craft your statement of value. In your statement of value, we have a template here. It's your product name or your school name, helps who, dedicated dad, and then describe the after state. So here's some examples. Statement of value for this software called Praxio. I know that's not relevant for a school, but that's just an example to kind of help you think about what your statement of value should say. Praxio helps managers train their teams, document their systems, and get more work done, all with less shoulder taps and, hey, do you have a minute interruptions. Praxio helps HR professionals automate the onboarding process so they can automate one of the most time-consuming aspects of their job and focus on team and culture building. Praxio helps founders build teams of mini CEOs. So already that's the before, that's the statement of value, and that's the after. What I just read is the statement of value. And I'm going a little bit fast, but we'll go back through it later on and we'll make it all make sense. But take a few minutes and craft your statement of value. Our school, Montessori or, whatever your school name is, helps parents do what so that they can what, or helps children do what so that they can do what. Step 2 is brainstorm jobs to be done, and that's this last column here. And the examples I'm going to show you are not quite relevant to schools specifically, but I'm leaving them in because I want you guys to have a wide range of examples, and I want you guys to have a wide range of the language that's being used. So it's not just another generic statement of value or another generic metaphor for what a school is or what a school does. So there's a reason that I'm leaving these examples in here, and they're, like I said, they're not quite relevant towards schools, but I'm doing that on purpose just to kind of give you guys more and more examples so you're thinking outside the box. So your product is not what your business makes. This is your ideal customer, person who's a potential customer, your product, and the end result, which is your business, is this awesome person who can do rad things. This example here from Jason Fried. Here's what our product can do, and here's what you can do with our product. Sound similar, but they're completely different approaches. Here's what our school can do, and here's what your child can achieve when they come to our school, are totally different statements. And one sounds much better than the other. Here's what our school can do is generic. It's a blanket statement. Parents have heard it. Kids have probably heard it. They probably don't want to hear it again. But crafting it in a way, here's what your child can achieve with our school, puts the focus on the child and rephrases it in a way that makes it more focused on the end product rather than on you. Another example, Harvard Business Review. The customer has a job to do and they will hire the best product or service to get it done. Again, you're not a product, you're a school. It's a service. It's education. So the customer, the parent, has a job to do, which is find a good school for their child. And they're going to enroll their child in the best school possible. So again, like I said, not all of these are relevant to schools, but we can pretty much make the connection between any of these statements and enrolling children in schools. Just like consumers want the best products, parents want the best services, parents want the best schools for their kids. So a lot of it's essentially the same. I'm leaving this in here just because it's a really good book, but it's not quite relevant. We can talk about it on one of our calls. But the jobs to be done is the framework. This is your framework statement. When is the situation? I want to. Motivation. So I can't is the expected outcome. This slide right here is the most important when you're crafting your framework. For example, Instagram. When? I want to, so I can. Situation, motivation, expected outcome. When I take a picture on my phone, I want to put them in a prominent place so I can share them with all my friends. When I'm looking for a school for my child, I want to see these 5 things so I can ensure that they're having the best education possible, or something like that. For Dropbox, when I have important files, I want to store them in a safe place so I can access them anywhere. For Pinterest, when I'm working on a project, I want to collect a scrapbook of inspirations so I can organize all of my ideas. And then one more, the Praxio. When I'm growing a company, I want to document all my systems and processes so I can work on my business, not in it. So brainstorm, do a brain dump of all of these situation, motivation, expected outcome phrases so you can use those and add those in the jobs to be done section. Step 4, onto the metaphor. So a quote from Aristotle, the greatest thing by far is to have a command of metaphor. This alone cannot be imparted by another. It's the mark of genius, for to make good metaphors implies an eye for the resemblances. So your metaphor, again, not relevant to schools. You can hear me say that over and over again, but I'm leaving them in here purposely so you can see different examples. So everybody that's here doesn't end up creating the same metaphors. This software is mission control for your marketing roadmap. Praxio, meet your company's new brain. New brain is the metaphor. Mission control is the metaphor. Transform your sales team into a revenue-generating machine. Revenue-generating machine is the metaphor. Choose your metaphor. and a handy little guide on how to brainstorm metaphors. Saves time, simplifies. Identify your key value driver. Some of these more relevant towards softwares, SaaS companies, e-commerce maybe, but I think you get the idea, and you can basically choose the best key value driver for your school based on some of the examples here. What do you do? What does this, I'm going to say product or service, but it's not. What does this product or service do for people? What does your school do for parents? What does your school do for children? Step 2 is brainstorm related concepts. What's something I use every day that blank? How does product name, school, make me feel? What else makes me feel like that? In a literal sense, what does your school do? What else does something like that? So what does your school do? And then think of something else that your school does that's similar to it. Step 3 is research-related metaphors, analogies, and concepts. Metaphor for blank, smile, or simile for blank, analogy for blank, things that blank, and then Google image search, blank, concept. Metaphor for learning, metaphor for growing, metaphor for allowing kids to be creative, things like that. So all of those 3 things put together, identifying the key value driver, brainstorming related concepts, and then finally adding in related metaphors, analogies, and concepts pretty much rounds out your core message canvas. So when you're done with that, that goes on your sheet under the metaphor section. And then you probably want to have, I would say, between 5 and 10 of these. Pick your best ones, talk about it with your team, get approval if you need to. But these are probably the ones that we're going to be wanting to use for your Facebook ads, Instagram ads, landing pages, anything like that. And just a side note, I know some of you are school administrators or teachers, and you don't own the school, so you do have probably limited reach or limited access or a very limited scope on what you can do. If you work for a Montessori school, for example, you might not be able to change that core message canvas because that's already set. Like the Montessori method is already set. You're not really going to be able to do much. But that doesn't mean that you can't personalize it in a way. Our school is this because this. Like, this is what we do for your child. You don't have to rebrand. I know it can sort of be an issue, especially if you're not the owner, with, what you can say and what you can put online. But if that's the case, then we know this is basically just used for supplemental content and things like that. And a lot of this can help you with what's going up on your blog and how you craft your ads. Even if this is not something you can necessarily put on the landing page, this will help you in writing your paid advertising as well. So I hope that was helpful. That was the core message canvas training. Let me know if you all have questions.